Okay, I'd like to call the August 23rd meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everyone to the August 23rd Board of Education meeting. My name is Chrissy Gagan. I'm the board president. And we'd like to start off by saying please silence everyone's cell phones. And we are going to start off with the superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. What I'll do is I'll be using that microphone over there. Okay. Are we live? Good. Can we hear each other? Can you hear me? Okay. Members of the board, members of the community, and staff, of which we have many, and I'm told this might be a first. The most important thing we're going to do tonight is introduce staff who have been appointed by the board either in prior meetings or who will receive their appointments tonight. We think it's very important that by school, the board and the community and on TV see our new staff members so they have a chance to know who they are prior to the opening of school on September the 6th. So to move it right along, you all had a little rehearsal this morning, am I right? You saw the administrators do a great introduction of themselves, briefly, with gusto, and with delight. And so we're going to ask the same. And I'm going to ask our Waverly principal. Are you here, Harry? There you are. Would you come up and start the honors? If anyone does not know, come to this microphone here. I think this is the better one for the TV. This is Harry Lau, our interim principal at the Waverly School, and you'll be with us minimally until the end of September. Right. Been doing a great job. So why don't you say a word about yourself and then begin introducing your Waverly staff, call them up, and they'll make their own comments about themselves. Great. Harry, you're on.
Thank you, Dr. Valente, and thank you to the board for the opportunity to be here tonight and for me to be here at all. I started here in July. I'm an interim. I am a retired principal. I'm also a tired principal, but that's another story. I am thrilled to be here. I have been here since July 1st, and what I see is just such a wonderful school at Waverly, and the people I've met from the district are just wonderful, so I'm thrilled to be here. And I look forward to being here until Dr. Bott returns. Let me introduce the assistant principal from the school, Elena DeLuna. She and I started on the same day on July 1st. We have been working hard. We have a very good but a very tough boss. We have, I think, made some really nice progress in moving things ahead for the school. And I think it should be a really wonderful school year for the children, which is what it's all about. Eliana?
Thank you, Dr. Lau. Hi, good evening, our board of trustees. Good evening to the East Chester community. It is an honor to be here. Can you guys hear it?
Little louder, Elena.
Okay.
Speak up. Use your teacher's voice.
Okay, I'm feeling it. It's coming out. Good evening, all. Thank you for having me here. It is an honor and a pleasure to be a part of the East Chester community and to join the wonderful magic that happens day to day in this place. Harry and I are an awesome team, and we look forward to just supporting and working in partnership with all of you and moving this work along forward. So pleasure to meet you all. I will introduce one of our new teachers who will be joining the Waverly staff this fall, and her name is Adalia Rosamilia. She will be one of our first grade teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. Hi, my name is Adalia Rosamilia, and I am a new first grade teacher at Waverly. I am super excited. Although I spent 20 years as an educator, I think it's my 23rd year, a majority of my career has been spent in New York City. And then last year I had the opportunity to join the Waverly family. I met Dr. Bott, and immediately I said, this is someone that I need around me. Something special about Eastchester is its people, from leadership to our families to our students. And it's a truly special place, and I did 2 kindergarten legal placements last year, and then I had the opportunity, it was about like a 6 or 7 week period of time where I spent time in Ann Hutch and Greenvale. So it was great. Like I said, I fell in love with it, and I've always loved the Eastchester community, so I'm really looking forward to a wonderful school year. Thank you.
Thank you. So, anybody else? No, that's
Is
it
that
for us.
is that the Waverly team?
That's it. That's it.
Well, let's give it a big round. So our next team will be Ann Hutch, with the principal of Ann Hutch, who I know is here and is on the agenda further on down the line. Would you do the same honors and introduce your staff?
Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. The Ann Hutch team, our new members, there are a few more than Waverly, so I think I'll have them all come up and join me, just for the sake of time, and then we can go one by one and introduce ourselves. Let's give them a round of applause. So we'll start with Kristen Kumar, who is our new assistant principal at Ann Hutch.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having us tonight. My name is Kristen Kumar. I am the new assistant principal at Ann Hutch. Before this, I was a special education teacher in Hastings, also a Board of Education trustee in Pecanico Hills, baseball coach, football volunteer. I wear lots of hats, and I'm really excited to be here and to join the Ann Hutch team and the Eastchester community. From my very first interview, I just felt very welcomed here, and that has continued to grow over time, so thank you so much.
Hi everyone, I'm Talia Conti. I'll be teaching at Ann Hutch as a 4th grade co-teacher. I'm very excited for the upcoming school year. I am an alumni of Eastchester, so it's so great to be back.
Hi everyone, my name is Marina Nakayama. I'll be teaching in the 3rd grade ICT with my co-teacher, Dana. I look forward to working with everyone so closely. It's been such an amazing first couple of weeks and couple of days with everyone. So, and I'm also will be coaching the JV volleyball team.
Hello everybody, good evening. My name is Melissa Zaccanino. I will be working as the newest 5th grade teacher at Ann Hutch. I am honored to be here tonight, and I look forward to working with our students.
Hi, my name is Dana Pearlstein. I've been here before when I was appointed at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, so it's really nice to see you all again. I felt so welcome since I've joined, and I'm really excited to get this school year started. I'll be teaching 3rd grade ICT.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Mancuso. I'm going to be teaching music at Ann Hutch. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank everyone for such a warm welcome to the Eastchester School District. And I'm just so excited to get to start my professional career here in Eastchester.
think our Greenvale principal is in the house. Here she comes.
Thank you, Dr. Valente. Board of Education, it's so wonderful to be here with you tonight to introduce to you our newest staff at Greenvale. I just want to point out that not just Greenvale, but all of the new staff that you see here tonight, we received hundreds of applications for positions here in the district. And I think that it is a real testament to the quality of candidates that we get, and that this pool of new hires is really just a spectacular bunch of people with just incredible credentials. So we are so thrilled to have them all with us. Unfortunately, my assistant principal, Caitlin Mundelli, can't be with us tonight. Caitlin comes to us with 20 years of educational experience, over 10 years of experience as an assistant principal with the New York City DOE. So we're thrilled to have her. I will call up our new staff and I will let them introduce themselves to you. Michelle Pellegrino, 3rd grade. Maria Elena Barbudo, 5th grade. Elise Kaposi, special education. Colleen Jones, special education. Nicholas Natali, music. Stephanie Spearings, library media specialist, which will be shared between Greenvale and Ann Hutch. And Dana Greco, math academic intervention services, which will also be a shared staff with Ann Hutch and Greenvale.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here. My name is Michelle Pellegrino. I'll be taking the 3rd grade position at Greenvale. I'm very excited to be working in this school district. I'm also a mom of 2, and I'm a very involved parent myself in both my daughter's schools. So I look forward to being in this community, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maria Elena Barbudo, and I will be teaching 5th grade at Greenvale. I come here after having 18 years of experience in New York City. So I'm really excited to just get to know everybody, and it is an honor and a privilege to be a part of the Greenvale family and the Eastchester community. Good evening, everybody. My name is Elise Kaposi, and I'm going to be the 4th and 5th grade special education teacher at Greenvale. I am super excited, especially that Eastchester is a really close-knit community. I grew up in Valhalla, so I'm very familiar with the community there, and I'm really excited to get to work with the students and also everyone in the district.
Good evening, my name is Colleen Jones. I am going to be a 2nd and 3rd grade special education teacher at Greenvale. I'm very excited, could not be more excited for the school year to start and to be joining such a wonderful community. So thank you for having me.
Good evening, my name is Stephanie Spearings, and I have the privilege of being the librarian at Greenvale, Waverly, and Ann Hutchinson. I'm coming directly from the Scarsdale Middle School, where I was one of the librarians there, and I'm just so looking forward to making your libraries an even more beautiful, welcoming place where your kids can continue to foster their love of reading, researching, and just learning in general. So thank you for the opportunity.
All right, before we move to our secondary, I'm told that there is a young lady in the house by our Director of Technology who will be an instructional coach, Kim Lattenville. Is that correct? Kim, come on up here and introduce yourself. Do a solo.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. I am Kim Lattenville. I'm going to be the instructional tech coach for all 3 elementary schools. So I'm very excited to get started and to work with everyone and get everyone excited about technology. So thank you very much.
This is your elevator speech. You're on the 1st floor, you're going to the 6th floor. Tell them what an instructional coach does before you get to the 6th floor. Go ahead.
So basically, I'll be working with a lot of the teachers to kind of push in, show them how to use some different technology, help them out with any questions they might have. I push in and can do lessons, so I work with the kids as well. So I'll be doing a lot of those different things throughout the year. I'll also do some professional development, some superintendent's conference days, and things like that to really promote the technology and help all the teachers feel more comfortable and be ready to really bring it into their classroom on their own.
Okay, nice job. I'm looking out there. Is there a secondary administrator? Aha. Secondary staff, right? Come on up. And you are the high school. Come on up. That's how they do it in the high school.
Good evening, Board of Education. I'm representing the high school administration team. I'm Joe Gilson. I'm the new high school assistant principal. Really excited to be here. I spent just under 10 years at Portchester High School. Coming to the high school, be overseeing the AP program, all of our clubs and activities, and a couple other things. And really excited to, Eastchester has a great reputation. The high school is an amazing school. Looking forward to continuing to make it even better. And we're joined by some amazing staff members tonight. I'll introduce them. Matthew Waga, Kyle Mahoney, and Emmanuel Suriel. And let me tell you, they're already working here today, and a couple of them were staying overtime today to get ready for the school year. So it's really exciting to have them on board. We have two other teachers who will be joining us that weren't here tonight, Brittany and Nicole. But we have a great staff, and we're really looking forward to this school year.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew Waga. I'll be teaching Spanish at the high school. It's been a wonderful welcome so far, and I'm really excited to start working with students. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Mahoney. I will be joining the Social Studies Department at the high school. And just to really reiterate what everyone said so far tonight, can't be more excited to join the Eastchester School District. Thank you, guys.
Hello everybody, my name is Emmanuel Suriel. I'm going to be the new computer science teacher at the high school. I've been teaching for many years in the city, and 14 of those years was me teaching computer science and or robotics. I look forward to strengthening and growing the computer science and robotics program at the high school.
Great. Last but not least, the middle school. Our new assistant principal.
Thank you, Dr. Lindsay. Good evening, board. My name is Janelle Hindell. I know it rhymes. I'm the new assistant principal at Eastchester Middle School. I come with 19 years, entering my 19th year in education, ranging from higher ed. I was in New York City for about a decade, then moved to Colorado, and then came back home. New York native, I grew up in Orange County. It's an honor to be here. I have been here since July 1st, and I've enjoyed every single moment. I've been enjoying meeting our students and our staff, and every single person I come into contact with, I'm leaving with a smile, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work here this year and work with you in the community. So thank you. And we have one hire that's not here tonight. We have a new counselor. His name is Tommy Finks. He's not here tonight, but he was a long-term sub last year, and now he's one of our new counselors, and we're excited to work with him as well. Thank you.
So thank you all again for coming tonight. I know it's been a long day. I know you were working on professional development with Scott. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We met them early this morning at coffee. So they've had a very busy day, but it was very important that they be with us tonight, introduce themselves, and we have quality people here. I've met many new teachers along the road, and this group is extremely competent and powerful. The process that we're now following is that Jeanette Messina puts out the ad through OLAS and other venues as needed, and then a number of people apply, as you heard, sometimes in the hundreds, depending on the certification area. They're vetted, and then principals are responsible with an interviewing committee to bring that number down to a reasonable number, bring them in, and it's quite a rigorous experience. I don't know if folks understand. We don't just look at the resume or at the application form from OLAS. We take a hard look at a writing sample. How well do they write? We ask every one of the teachers to deliver a demo lesson. Can they engage with students? They may look great on paper. They may have been great in the interview. But can they teach? Can they engage students? Can they put together a lesson plan that has a beginning, a middle, and an end? that really bring students into the lesson? How interactive are they? Those are some pretty tough criteria. So the process has changed. It's become more rigorous, and it's become more action-oriented, if you will, performance-based. So they pass muster on that, and I think that's an important element. And then we ask the principals to send minimally 2 finalists to central administration and superintendent's level. So anybody who the superintendent recommends, there have been 2 for that position. Unless under extreme circumstances, it's impossible to find someone else, and that does happen. But we recommend then the better of the 2, in consultation, obviously, with the central administrators and with the principal. And I must say, there's been 100% agreement on that, but we do have our share of conversation before the finalist is recommended. So when the board meets a finalist, I want to assure you, they went through a rigorous process. And these are the best that are out there, the best of the brightest. So on that note, we'll bring this portion to an end. But do stay with us for a short while. We promise to be brief, but if you really have to go, if you're thoroughly exhausted, feel free to leave as well. But I'm going to proceed with the report. And I want to talk about our school resource officer, because this comes under strengthening school security. That's a major goal of this board, a major priority. And we have several elements to that we want to share with you this evening. A second school resource officer to complement the one we currently have at the middle high school, and this individual will be assigned to the elementary schools for 184 days. Tonight, the board will approve an amendment to the contract that we have with the Eastchester Police Department, and that amendment would give us the authority to bring in that second SRO. But there's no one better to talk about the SRO than our own Director of Security, who I would like you, A, to meet, B, introduce himself, and he's also brought someone from his firm. So, John, would you do us the honors of talking a little bit about who you are, what you do for the district, and and how the SROs will be working through you. Right? Mr. John Kugel, let's welcome him.
Thank you. I just want to start by thanking Dr. Valenti and the board for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Before I get into what I do, I think it's important for people to understand who I am. So I'm a married father of 2 boys. My boys, Aiden and Mason, they're 13 and 11. Like many people, I'm originally from New York City. I moved up to Mahopac in Putnam County back in 2005. My boys attend Mahopac Middle School. I think you know where I'm going with this. My wife also works for the district. She's a district employee. So that's me personally. Professionally, I spent 26 years with the New York City Police Department. I retired in July of 2020 as a lieutenant in the Central Robbery Division. I have a very diverse law enforcement background. And security is, I've lived security my whole life. So I took a year off after I retired. I was at John Jay College finishing my master's degree, which I did virtually, home with my boys during the pandemic, and my wife went back to school, back to work full time. In the summer of 2021, I decided it was time to go back to work, and I found a job that I contacted, a company called Altaris, which I'll get into what they do in a minute. And starting last August of 2021, I was employed part-time in Eastchester as the security and safety coordinator, splitting my time with another district in Lower Westchester. And I'm really excited to say that this July 1st, the board and the district has brought me on full-time in the district, so I'm really excited about that and the direction that security and safety is going in this district. The reason I tell you about my background extensively is I'm also a coach. I coach football and baseball. I have a strong affiliation to kids. I have boys in a school district. My wife works in the school district. I take what I do very seriously. I didn't just look for a job and say, hey, I just want to do this to pass the time and earn a paycheck. I live this, and I need people to understand that it's important to me. So I have skin in the game. And other than being here, the only other thing I would really enjoy doing is if I did this in my own district, which I don't. But I'm happy to be here and do it. So it's important for me to let people know that. So like Dr. Valenti said, we're headed in a really positive direction with safety and security. And one of the things that we've had numerous meetings for hours deciding what direction we were going to go in. And one of those directions is adding a second resource officer to the district. My understanding is Steve DeLegge was the school resource officer. Steve's recently been promoted to sergeant. So we have another officer who's been trained and is ready to come on board. Steve basically turned out of the high school and middle school, but we felt that from an equitable standpoint, having a second resource officer in the district to split time between the 3 elementary schools was very vital. So we decided to go in that direction, and I'm happy to say that starting this new school year, that will be in effect. So aside from being a uniformed, properly trained armed presence, a school resource officer serves other vital roles as well. They foster positive relationships, not only with staff, but with students as well. And it creates a positive learning and working environment in an education system. And there's been an MOU, which is a Memorandum of Understanding. It's basically, for those that don't know, it's a contract between the district and the Eastchester Police Department, explaining the parameters of the duties and responsibilities of the school resource officer, which I will help to oversee and ensure that we're utilizing each resource officer to the best of their ability and that they're doing exactly what we need them to do for our district. So, on that, I just want to say thank you again for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to be on board full time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, John. The next item on our agenda is the Sandy Hook Promise, closely aligned to strengthening security within our school district. As you can see, there are a number of levels of strengthening security, not just the SRO. But the board is prepared tonight to entertain a resolution to form a contract with a nationally known group called Sandy Hook, where sadly, some 20 years ago, many students in that Connecticut school were slain, and faculty as well. And they made the commitment to set up a foundation and a program that is now nationally certified. And in effect, what they do is they train counselors who will accept anonymous phone calls. And upon receiving the anonymous phone call, make a determination as to whether that threat is legitimate or not. They're trained to do that. So it's not just you or me hearing the threat. These are individuals who hear hundreds of them every day and have been schooled in how to dissect what could be a very serious threat from what may be only fake. Based on their judgment, they will notify school and/or police authorities immediately on a 24/7 basis. And then from there, we would take the actions that would be necessary. So this is a program at no cost, but that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it because every life is valued so much that we don't want to lose any life. And we think this is another layer of intervention beyond the SRO. Additionally, this board will be supporting this year our chief, Joe Rodriguez, Eastchester Police, together with his team, meeting with our staff on the very first day of school we're going to send out a message to 600 teachers and administrators and custodians and secretaries and all the other wonderful people who make up our staff. We're going to give them 2 hours of training on identifying what a threat could be in the school and how to respond to it. We learned in Uvalde that they didn't have all the information they needed at the time, that there were areas of weakness within their structure. We want to ensure from the first day that everybody is tuned in to what we need to do to maximize safety, whether it's a closed door, whether it's a closed window, whatever the case may be, that we're taking the appropriate precautions. So that is another area that we're moving into that I want you to be aware of as a community. As of September 6th, our teachers will be fully and professionally developed. The last area is that we're going to take a hard look at biomedics and technology, because the State Education Department has indicated an interest, and they've asked for districts to demonstrate an equal interest. So we've notified them here in Eastchester that we'd like to look at facial recognition, visual recognition, voice recognition, etc. It's very common in many places. You call a bank and people use voice recognition. In Westbury, where I had been last year, we used facial recognition in terms of the schools. So they are technologies that are not absolutely novel, but they are technologies that, again, could add an added layer of protection. So the point in strengthening school security is not that you do one thing, but that you do many things, and you build that into a strong professional development program. That's Sandy Hook, the promise, and the board will vote on that tonight. There is a professional learning plan that the board will vote on tonight that is really dedicating 180 days to staff development. And Scott, I'm going to ask you and Susan to just say a few words on what that plan is. Okay, I know you didn't expect this, but you're okay on your feet, right? Come on. Susan. We got to get to know who you guys are, right, Susan?
Dr. B, you know I never pass up an opportunity to speak about
I know, just be brief.
Oh, I know. He gets the hook out usually when I stand up. But we have many different initiatives going on this year in terms of curriculum and instruction and building the rigorous program that we're really looking to have here in Eastchester. One of our main focuses will be literacy from the K to 5 level, but also 6 to 8 and 9 through 12. But looking at really building our literacy program from multiple different angles, multiple different perspectives, looking at the programs that we currently use, looking at new programs that we're looking to implement, and really focusing on the development of our teachers to provide the most positive and rigorous instruction that we can in literacy. From a perspective of math, we'll be implementing our new math program, K through 5 this year, the Reveal Math program, which we piloted last year, and we'll be implementing fully for this coming school year. And in science, continuing the work that we've been doing with Science 21 at the K through 5 level, implementing it fully now, with 5th grade being the last grade level to come on board. As we all know, the science standards have shifted, and that we will not be doing the 4th grade science assessment this year. It'll be shifting into 5th grade next year under the new standards. So we feel confident that all of our students will be well prepared for the science standards, having come up through the years, having the Science 21 program. So, Susan, you want to add anything, or do you feel?
I think you said everything.
Susan, talk a little bit about 6 to 8 in classroom libraries.
Sure.
6 to 12, I'm
6 to-
sorry.
Sure.
And
So-
libraries, yeah.
Sure. So one of the new things that we're able to do this year is extend our classroom libraries up through 12th grade. So having a classroom library in an English classroom in the high school is not something that you see typically, but something that I'm really glad that we were able to do. We had brought them on 6-8 about 3 years ago, and through some grant funding that Scott had, we were able then to bring those into our high school English classrooms as well. So I had teachers here over the summer that did some summer work. thinking about how they might use this small collection of books that would be housed in their classroom, whether it be used for independent reading, whether it be used for book clubs, but either way, as engaging students in additional reading beyond what's required in the curriculum.
Okay, very good. It is important for the community to know, parents in particular, that when you look at a classroom library, any classroom you visit on September 6th or any day of the year, that those books are about 50% interest level for children at that age appropriate, and the other 50% geared to the reading level of children, so that we have those two variables at work to ensure that it embraces all the children in that class. That's an important variable, and Susan will be working with our principals and faculty on that. The next item is an item that I believe we have already addressed. I believe Scott mentioned Hegedy, phonemic awareness, as part of the science of reading. Scott did talk about literacy, and we're looking very heavily at the science of reading this year. There are 20 years of research, cognitive psychologists, neuroscientists, etc., that have done the research to indicate that a heavily phonic program is probably a better leverage and foundation for ensuring reading readiness, fluency, etc. And one of the best places to start, and we'll be doing this at Waverly and some of the elementary schools, is phonemic awareness. What is the level of the awareness of children as they enter in kindergarten in our case? So I wanted you to know that an expenditure is here at the BOCES with us, and that we're approving that in the consent agenda as part of our literacy program. The other item I wanted to bring to your attention beyond that is the Panorama Survey. I know this was discussed, I believe, last year. I was not here, so I can't verify it. But Panorama is a group out of Boston, Massachusetts, that works with social emotional learning. And we had gotten involved with them in a prior district. We brought them in, and they survey staff, administrators, students, and extended to parents in terms of gauging the moral climate. Where are people right now? How do you feel about your school? How do you feel about the teaching, the learning that's there? Are you comfortable? Are you being challenged sufficiently? And this cuts across all levels, not just students, but as I said, staff. And you start to benchmark where you're at as a district based on this data. It's done anonymously, and the idea is not to know who's saying what. The idea is to know what are people saying, and what do we need to do in order to improve morale, improve connections, improve the learning environment, which is so important to outcomes. So there will be an investment in that, and that is included in the agenda for this evening. Okay? The next item, as we come toward the bottom of the list, is a very important one: school food guidelines, kindergarten to 5th grade. Now, how did it get onto a board agenda? Well, first of all, we have 3 wonderful elementary schools practicing 3 different approaches to school food guidelines. We're one district, not 3. And we have to insist that as one district, we have a unique vision, we have our mission, and then we have protocols that apply across the schools. That doesn't mean we don't have uniqueness. It doesn't mean we don't have differentiation. It doesn't mean we don't have individual character as schools. It simply means that what we practice at Waverly, we ought to be practicing at the other 2 elementaries, so that a mom with a kindergartner and a 4th grader is not driven dizzy by saying, oh, can we have cupcakes? And is it carrots only? And do you celebrate birthdays or not? Now, some people may think that's not important, unless you're a mom or a dad or a grandpa. Okay, and this is very important. It's so important, two of our principals are going to come to the mic and talk to us about it. And the three principals met during the summer. And Harry, I'm not excluding you. All right, we're wild about you, Harry, but you can Joanna and your team, come on up here. Talk to us about what the guidelines are. I said to the principals, look, you come up and tell us, you're the experts, what we ought to be doing. If you can't come up with something, we'll come up with something. But it won't be as good as what you come up with. So here they are to tell you how good it is. The microphone is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Valenti. We just wanted to share that it was very important to us to provide a consistent experience for our students and also for our families. And I'll just share a couple of things that we considered as important factors. So the health and safety, of course, of our students with allergies, ensuring a joyful school environment that celebrates. We considered wellness and nutrition in terms of the snacks our children are consuming. And then we thought about instructional time and how we balance that with the other factors. So it's quite simple in terms of what we came up with. Classrooms will remain nut-free, and in the cafeteria, we will remain what we call nut-safe. The only shift in the cafeteria would be, instead of having an allergy table, we're now going to have a nut table. So families that choose to send students with nut products, there will be a table where those students can sit in the cafeteria that's labeled in a developmentally appropriate way. And then Joanna's going to talk a little bit more about celebrations.
Taking into account everything that Dr. Keene has shared with you, we talked about all the possibilities, and we felt that the best way moving forward, because can be a lot of inequity, is that we eliminate food for all birthday celebrations. We are going to charge our teachers when they return in the coming weeks to work together as grade levels, and we're going to come up with uniform celebrations across each grade level. You know, what may be appropriate in a second grade classroom may not be so appropriate for a fifth grader. A second grader may love their mom coming in to read a book for their birthday. I can guarantee you no fifth grader wants their mother to come and share a book in their classroom. So we will come up with uniform guidelines for each grade level, so there is consistency and all children feel celebrated in the same way, but we will eliminate food for all birthday celebrations. However, with that being said, like Dr. Keene said, we do not want to eliminate the joy in the classroom. So we will continue to have food at our seasonal celebrations. And as we went through the school calendar, there pretty much is one holiday celebrated per month in the classroom. So we're going to have those conversations with our PTA and our class parents to reiterate the importance of them being nut-free products. We have associated with the policy that you've taken a look at tonight, and on all three of our school websites, school safe snack guidelines, which are 38-page documents which give extensive lists, not just fruits and vegetables, of snack products that children can bring to school. They do sell the school safe cupcakes right here at Stop and Shop, so that is always an option. So we will continue to have food at our holiday celebrations, but we will indeed eliminate it for birthdays and come up with universal celebrations across each grade level for consistency. And I really want to thank Chrissy for coming to be a part of that conversation. I know you having small children, it gives us that great perspective of, you know, we know how important this is for your child to feel special on birthdays. As a mother, you know, I remember those days for my boys. So I'm glad that we could come up with a policy that encompasses all three schools, and it'll be uniform across the district. So thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Okay, that's very good. That lays the predicate for at least having unanimity amongst the schools, similar practices, but it is open to changes going forward, all right? As long as we know that everybody is on the same page and we don't have three different practices or policies. The very last item is an update on the construction project, but before I do that, I think, no, don't run away. You left me all alone. Are there any questions from the board? This is a very important area. And are there any questions the board would like to ask our principals about the policy, about its implementation?
And maybe you said this earlier, but are parents allowed to participate in classroom activities or events, class parents, or even if you're not a class parent, I know it was very important for other parents to get an opportunity, especially at the smaller, the lower level grades. Not so much the 4th and 5th grade, but.
I think for 5th grade has quite a lot of opportunities for parents to participate as they prepare to move on to middle school. But yes, the holiday celebrations, we usually turn it over to the PTA and the class parent program to organize, but we do encourage the class parents to extend invitations to all parents and to try to find a balance. We know we cannot have 25 parents in a class of 25 children, so we really do urge the PTA, and they really have done a wonderful job of including all parents and giving them the opportunity to have sign-ups, and they do tell parents, you know, please sign up for one thing that you think is important to you and your child, and let other parents have the opportunity to participate. And in last year at Greenbelt, it really did work out beautifully.
Thank you.
And I want to commend the principals. They came up with this very quickly, and I do understand their need as principals to meet with their PTAs, their parents, and get everybody on board. So I'm sure we'll be hearing more of this as we move through the school year in terms of any modifications that are necessary. Okay, very good. Thank you all. Let's give them a round. And the last item is to update everyone on the construction project. And there's probably no one better, is Peter. Come on up here, Peter, so everybody knows who you are. Peter, by the way, is extending our fence from 4 feet to 6 feet so that we have added protection on our fields. And he's done a marvelous job with that. And he's also been managing the construction project together with our business officials. So, Peter, why don't you say a few words about what we're doing?
Good afternoon, good evening. I'm Pete Corderoni, Director of Facilities. Hi all. Construction project, we just walked with Lee and our architect and construction manager about half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. The middle school gym is on track. We should be open all set for first day of school. The roofs have been replaced. They've been painting as we talk right now. Lights are being installed tomorrow. Dr. Valenti brought up the track. We, with the board's approval, went from a 4-foot fence to a 6-foot, so they can't jump it anymore. Hopefully it'll slow them down a little bit. If they jump at 6-foot fences, I'm sure my athletic director wants them. As far as phase 1 and the construction project you all voted on in May, that's going to be approved hopefully tonight. That's the field work. We're going to put drainage into the field. We're going to put sod on it instead of grass, so we'll have sod. We'll be playing there in the springtime. Work can start, actually they started looking at for insurances and getting going. We have a pre-construction meeting on Thursday, and we just rock and roll from there. Phase 2 restarting, which is the security bond. So we broke it out to 5 phases on the vote. And so over the next 4 or 5 years, we'll be doing a lot of construction. So stay tuned, but next year will be the security phases, which is all the new doors, interior, exterior, all the new vestibules, the safety vestibules, lights, cameras, and all set for action. So thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Do I need
Well, I think you have to wait for the public comments, sir, okay? I'm going to wrap my report up now, and I'm sure the president will be moving to your section. One last item. Peter worked very hard with our elementary principals on repairing playground equipment. I want to emphasize repairing. I know it's in the bond, and it's a 3-year project of replacing.
Excuse me, it's not in the bond. It will be renovation, capital transfer money.
All right, well, in effect, right. Capital transfer monies over a 3-year period.
Over a 3-year
correct?
period,
3-year period for the elementaries, but that would be for new playgrounds.
New playgrounds, yes.
At this point, though, all the playgrounds have been repaired and declared safe.
Yep. We're
And
working
we
on,
have
I'm
that in
getting
writing.
paperwork, I don't have it written yet, I will have it for
We're
September.
going to get it in writing, okay? That's
All right.
good. All right, thank you.
Thank
Peter.
you.
That concludes the superintendent's report and a lot of other people.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I got shut out here.
Oh, comments from the public.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I got shut out of my computer here. Okay, so now we are up to comments from the public on agenda items only. So I just wanted to, before we do that, I just wanted to go over some of the rules and procedures for public comment. We value community input and engagement, and we admire your passion. We ask that you remain respectful, just as we teach our children to be respectful. We have a board policy 1230, which states that public comments must be addressed to the entire board as a body, and not to any specific board member or staff member. Comments must be civil and respectful. So please come up, sign in, state your name and address. The time limit is 3 minutes. The time will be displayed on the screen, and when your time is up, please stop and let the next person speak. Okay, thank you. Do we have any comments from the public on agenda items?
Is this where I?
Yes, this is your
Yes.
turn.
Well, it
What
was
is it?
about, I guess, the construction.
It's fine, you can leave it in the stand.
My name is Dominic Marcian. I was here already twice this meeting. And I'm interested in having the track open. Now, I know you're putting the fence higher so the kids cannot jump it. However, what was the outcome about having it open? Who could give me that answer?
Hi, Dominic. I know we've had several discussions on the track, and we were pleased that it was successful during its summer run. And the track committee has met several times for the fall semester, and we have the bookends being literally yesterday to around the Thanksgiving holiday, opening it for periods in the morning and the evening when our students are not conducting sports. And then again, Saturday and Sunday, we established windows as well. So are you questioning the amount of time, that you'd like more time?
I
or
would
you-
like to know what the time is that you guys decide.
All right, Peter, do you want to address that? I know that's an area of your expertise. Would you let Dominic know exactly what the times are? Yeah, I know we're ending at dusk, Dominic, because
Yeah.
we don't believe it's
All
safe.
right, so right now it's school in session, well, not in session, but sports are in session. So it pretty much takes over the track usage. We are opening at 6 o'clock in the morning when there's no sports on the fields, and we close it at 9. Saturday and Sunday will be the same, 6 a.m. in the morning to 9 a.m. and then 6 p.m. to dusk, Saturday and Sunday. Because dusk now, it's getting dark, you know.
This is what, dusk?
Yeah, we can't help that. I mean, you know, dusk is an arbitrary number. I can't say 9 o'clock because it's pitch dark out, you know. So we had summer light, we don't have that now.
We do have lights now.
We don't have lights, we have lights, but we don't have lights on the track. Okay, so I have parking lights.
We have plenty lights.
We have parking lights. We don't have track lights. It's a security and a safety issue, more safety than anything. God forbid someone falls and gets hurt.
On a truck, somebody could fall down.
I understand it. Police says light, you can see it. But that's the field committee, arbitrarily, we had board members, we had residents, we had some people. We all decided, it gave you access, it gave people access. We've opened up weekends where we never had weekends before. You never had access weekends before.
I thank you.
There's, like we just said, 6 a.m. to 9, Saturdays and Sundays, unless there's a sport event on it. The schools take first shot.
My time is almost over, so I can speak for 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
Well, you can talk off record, with Peter.
Yes.
Yeah. But thank you for asking the question.
But the idea is that the board has to know what I'm saying. Yeah, because what happened is this. If there is a game going on, they usually don't finish before 7 o'clock. So we cannot use the track. Then dusk comes in, 8 o'clock is closed. It used to be that we used to be able to go with the last sign that was up there to 9 o'clock. Now that
It was already
that's-
up, sir.
Excuse me?
It was up. I can show you the signs tomorrow if you want to come.
No, the new sign that was put up, the old sign used to say 9 o'clock.
I'll show you the sign.
You have the old one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come down, you know my office, I've invited you before. You come down, I'll show you the signs.
But what does that prove? That proves nothing, because if we could still use the track going after dusk, at least at 9 o'clock. This is what it's all about.
See, I think the other half of the equation, Dominic, is that the health, safety, and welfare of students is here at stake. And we have to be very careful of allowing anyone from the community, we don't know who they might be, on the same field as students of the Eastchester School District. So in this age of strength and security and safety, we have to be very careful about who's on the field. If it's carte blanche, let everybody go there, students and adults and whomever, we could be inviting an incident that we're going to regret.
With all due respect, I think this is an excuse. But I thank you for whatever you do for the community.
Right.
And I think that the community has been very generous with you. The only thing is, I don't know who's pulling the shots, but it's not giving us any consideration. That is the way I feel.
I don't know what the cost of lights on the track would be. It is possibly something we could cost out and see what the exposure would be.
There's plenty of lights on the field.
Well, I'm hearing, and I don't want to litigate this in public, I'm hearing from our director of facilities, I have to listen to him. He's hired to do that. You're saying it's okay to walk the track. We have to ensure safety for you. God forbid you fell, you could sue the school district. So there are liabilities we're concerned with.
Again, with all due respect, I think that is an excuse.
There's no, we have opened it more than it has been opened in the last, I guess, 3-4 years since it went into Boston here.
I know we spent more time on the track and had a
At
committee
one
work.
time, there was no time there. It was
At
open
one time,
all
there
the
was no
time.
fences, there was no fences either. Right, and these times have changed.
Well, look, in
Anyway.
fairness to other people who may want to speak, thank you for raising the issue, and it's not going to go away, Dominic.
I hope you're going to do something more constructive with common sense, because this makes no sense.
Well, would you come and meet with Peter tomorrow, and let's look at some?
You can come down and talk.
You're going to yes me to that, and you're going to do nothing about it, because I already told you. This is the bottom line. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm only trying to look for a little bit of consideration for us that we like to walk on the field, on the track. Thank you for your time, and keep the consideration going, and maybe you could come up with a better, more common sense solution. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Allison Pincus. I'm at 38 Forbes. I just want to commend the board and the principals of the elementary schools for doing the food allergy being a nut table rather than a nut-free table. As a parent of a child with severe allergies, they can't choose to be allergic to foods. Parents can choose to send their kids in with peanut butter or, whatever other nut products. So I want to commend everyone for making that choice. In addition, yay phonics. I'm glad you guys are doing it.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the appointment of the superintendent of schools. I have a very important and exciting announcement to make. The board has unanimously decided to suspend our search for a permanent superintendent because we strongly feel that the best person for the job is sitting right here next to me. Last year, the prior board interviewed many candidates, and we unanimously selected Dr. Valenti as our interim superintendent. I've spent a lot of time with Dr. Valenti this summer over the past 7 weeks, and he has done amazing work already. He has been thoroughly assessing our district, examining our finances and budget, looking at student test scores, proficiency levels, examining our curriculum. He's had many interviews and meetings with many different stakeholders. He has developed multi-year action plans and goals and has already begun delivering on those goals. We have much needed updates and improvements to our curriculum in literacy, phonics, writing, math, which will begin being implemented this September. Dr. Valenti has helped us to make improvements to security, open the track, and better secure the track by increasing the fence height. He is aligning our 3 elementary schools from everything to curriculum, to policies, to a 6-day cycle. He has plans to improve the high school guidance department. He has laid out multi-year goals, and we strongly feel that it is in the best interest of our district to allow Dr. Valenti to see his plan through. Dr. Valenti's resume really speaks for itself. He's been revamping curriculum, improving student performance, and bettering districts across New York for more than 40 years. With his experience as a superintendent, I cannot imagine a more experienced and qualified person to lead our district and move it forward. His performance over the last 7 weeks has validated our decision to hire him in the first place. I have the utmost confidence that he will continue to build upon his already stellar start in our district, and I am thrilled to announce that Dr. Valenti will be our permanent superintendent for the next 3 years. So, Jackie, would you like to say something?
Sure. I'd love to. Go around.
Need a motion. Then we can discuss.
If you'd like a motion to appoint Mike, and then any discussion.
Okay. I'd like a motion to discuss. Okay. Do we have a second?
A second.
All right. Go ahead, Jackie.
Well, I just want to start off with saying that I feel that we are very fortunate to have a superintendent with the expertise, skill, and experience of Dr. Valenti. Not only does he have superintendent experience in various neighboring districts, he has expertise in curriculum, instruction, increasing ELA and math proficiency, has been a search consultant for superintendents for other districts, and is an associate professor for educational leadership. Dr. Valenti was unanimously chosen as our interim last year, and in a few short months, Dr. Valenti has been able to conduct a thorough analysis of our district and deep understanding of the community, and in partnership with the board goals that have been set, has collaborated with our wonderful administrators on the implementation of new initiatives that will start as early as September. He is inspiring to us all, a true leader, and we are very fortunate to have him. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Valenti as our permanent superintendent.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I have to say, I think everyone, the audience here, folks on TV, I mean, you could see in just Dr. Valenti's presentation today, his enthusiasm, his passion. He exudes passion in just the 7 weeks or so that he's been here. And how he spoke today, and how he's been able to embrace our community, embrace our schools, embrace our administration, has spoken to each and every one of us. It's just, to me, is amazing. And he's just the type of person that I think he's been an angel who's been dropped upon Eastchester, quite frankly. And really looking forward to working with him. And I know that he will do great things. And why not? You know, who better than Dr. Valenti, who teaches superintendents across the lands on how to become a superintendent? So why not have him work with Eastchester? Welcome.
You start talking. We are absolutely thrilled to have Dr. Valenti as our superintendent. Just these 7 weeks, we have done so much already. As Christy explained, like safety and security, our curriculum, just your experience and organizational skills, your energy, your passion, and just having like the board and administration work collaboratively for the first time ever. It made so many strides just over the summer, and I'm excited for the school year to begin and what we can accomplish. So thank you.
Okay, last year when we were interviewing for an interim superintendent, we interviewed, I think, about six individuals, and Dr. Valenti was a unanimous choice of that board at the time. And this year, he has unanimous support of this board as well. So that's not 11 people over the last 3 months that we know you, 3 or 4 months that we know you, who have faith in this gentleman. And when we interviewed Dr. Valenti, when typical interview question is you ask, well, do you have any questions for the board? And his question was, well, what do you expect from me? And I answered him, and I said, and you'll remember, I said, we expect you to run the third leg of a 4-person relay track, and we want you to set the team up to win and pass the baton to someone who's going to win. Dr. Valenti now is, you know, he's shown us that he is that third leg of the race, and he's willing, he came to us and he's willing to do this for 3 years. So we're going to make that, instead of a 4x1 mile race, we're going to make it a 4x3 mile race. So at the end of these 3 years, that you're going to hand this off to somebody in this district is going to be so far ahead of where it was that when you got here, there's no way we're going to lose. And I just want to say that one other last comment is, in engaging with the search firms which we had interviewed and talked to, and when they asked us, well, what are you looking for in a superintendent? My response to them was, like in my cousin Vinny, I want him. Okay? So he's the guy. And
thank you very much.
Good luck.
Okay.
And we're here to support you.
I would just like to say, Dr. Valenti, you are a professional through and through. When I first met you, we had a meeting. He schedules a meeting for an hour, and it's over in an hour. It doesn't drag on. He's very cognizant of people's time. He's very efficient. He sets goals and deadlines, and he gets things done. Just so impressed with you and everything that we've been able to do in these short 2 months, that just really excited, looking forward to what we're going to do in the future, and Eastchester welcomes you.
Dr. Valenti, as I was looking at your superintendent's report,
board. I am absolutely astonished at what you've been able to accomplish in 7 very short weeks. I do not believe there is a better person to lead Eastchester and this community into the future. Your knowledge base, your expertise, your caring, and your excitement about doing this is something that stands apart from anyone else that I've met, and I'm super excited to welcome you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, can we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous.
Well, thank you very much, members of the board, and I do appreciate your individual comments. You're right, I am very enthusiastic about Eastchester and its future. I am very excited about Eastchester and its future. When I first did my assessment during the consultant days in June, followed up in July and August, I identified a number of areas that I felt we could move very quickly and dramatically with, some of which you saw tonight. And here we are at the beginning of school and we've made moves. There are larger issues, and you'll always get from me honesty and transparency, that I think Eastchester wants to work on, wants the journey to continue, and wants to reach higher. I said to the faculty who are here today, this morning, at our prior professional development, I said, let's be competitive with the best districts in town. Let's be competitive with Westchester, be it a Blindbrook, be it a Scarsdale, be it a Harrison, who's on top, and what do we need to do to get to that point? What is it we're not doing now that we could do better? The best school districts in the world today are those that at some point said, let's reach higher. Like that soaring eagle. Can I go faster? Can I go higher? Can I reach beyond where I'm at? Not to become complacent with what is, but to look for and drive for what could be, okay? To imagine a future that would really be beyond where we are at now. And there are many roads and pathways to get there, and we're going to find them and achieve together. You have a great team here. You have some very talented administrators. It's a matter of focusing in one direction, being one district, working together in tandem, and making things happen. I'm forever saying to the assistant superintendents and the principals, I don't want to hear aspirations. Wouldn't it be nice if every child could read? Yes, it would be. I want to hear deliverables. What percentage of our youngsters by the end of 3rd grade will have achieved proficiency or mastery? That's the number I want to look at. And if it's 80%, that's competitive. Then the question is, where did the other 20% go? So the issue is not just saying all children shall read. The issue is what percentage at what level is measured by. So we've got to introduce the science, the research, but we have to get very specific about goals. An administrator shared with me our Regents results for this past year. I thought overall they were commendable, but you're not going to see them until we get additional data. Number one, how did Scarsdale do? How did Blindbrook do? How did Tuckahoe do? You name it. How did other Westchester districts do? Those are our competitors. Secondly, I want to know the participation rate. I could have 95% in physics, but it's very possible only 5% of the students took the test. I don't know that, but I want to know that. And how do we increase the participation rate so more of our students are being challenged while maintaining the success, proficiency, and mastery rate? I do focus a great deal on data. I believe data drives decisions. And I said to the faculty here this morning, and I believe yesterday at the administrative workshop, I said, I want to give you a thought experiment. There are 2 planes out there, either one available for you getting onto it. One of the planes has a certified air pilot who passed his test or her test. The other has someone in training as the pilot who is yet to take the test. Which plane would you run for to board? Anybody want to bite?
Experience.
The experienced, certified individual. You're going to undergo heart surgery. Do you want to go to a surgeon who has passed the test and done very well? Or do you want to go to someone who is still working at it and has to climb that mountain yet? In matters of life and death, tests do matter, performance does matter, and I'm not bowing at that altar entirely, but I am suggesting that we ought to take it more seriously. And rather than dumbing down tests, we ought to make them more challenging. And if the regents want to lower the level of standard, that is their prerogative for the state. But Eastchester then is going to be right at the top of that pile, doing the best we can, with advanced placement as well, with SAT and ACT performance as well. And we're going to restore reputations where they may not have been as positive as we would have liked them to have been. But we're going to make every effort to bring about change. We're going to hold ourselves accountable. And by accountable, I mean, what have you delivered? And if you couldn't deliver it, why not? There are always extenuating circumstances. But goodness, deliver. Because that is the ticket to success. And if our students understand that, and understand we live in a competitive society, and understand that nothing comes easily or freely, then they are the better for it. And we are the better for it for having taught them that lesson. So let's join hands, work hard, and over the next 3 years, not worry about personalities, not worry about how you feel. Let's worry about achieving deliverables for our students. They are number one. I said to the teachers this morning, the question I ask every day, am I still having fun? Fun is very important. You have to be happy at what you do. And if you're not happy, then you better reflect very quickly, or stop doing it, or do something else. But you have to enjoy what you do. And I'll mention it tonight again, I guess. I have 3 granddaughters. And I asked my daughter, I said, what do you want for Solana, Kaya, and Danya? I want them to be happy, Dad, number one. We should want happiness for our children, that they're happy with who they are. They're happy with what they're achieving. They're happy with their futures. And then they'll deal with their frustrations much better. And they'll deal with life's vicissitudes more effectively. And the last thing I will say, what is my role as a superintendent? I could quote to you Education Law 1711. I could pull out the textbooks. I have one job, to remove whatever obstacle is out there that is stopping you from being the best teacher and administrator you can be. Once achieved, then you can be your best. And if we're all our best, then no one else but the students will benefit from it. So again, I thank you, and let's get the job done. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to the SRO agreement. Do I have a motion for that? Okay, Jackie, do I have a second? Matt, okay. Discussion, anyone want to discuss that? No? Okay. All right, all in favor? Okay. All right, so now we have approval of items under the consent agenda. Anyone would like to do that? Okay, Jackie, thank you.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda, which includes the following: 7 minutes, 8 personnel agenda, 9 Committee on Preschool Special Education recommendations, 10 pupil personnel recommendations, 11 educational and curriculum and instruction, 12 business office recommendations, 12. Sorry, and then 13 other business. That should be 13. Make it the correction.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right. And now we are up to comments from the board. Are there any comments from the board? No? Okay. Future meeting dates. September 6th, the work session, and September 20th, the regular meeting. And, okay, and now we are up to. Okay, yeah, the next one, okay. Now we are up to comments from the public. Any comments from the public? All right. I have a comment.
Hi. Good evening, board. My name is Renee Howe. I'm a proud parent of a recent graduate of high school here. But tonight I'm here as a taxpayer and as a concerned citizen. So about a month after, so I'd like to talk about summer reading. So about a month after the candidate forum for the Board of Ed, I had a call from my son, and he said to me, Mom, I watched the candidate forum, and one of the women read from a book that she said was pornography, and I wanted you to know I've read that book, and it was actually a case of sexual abuse of the 9-year-old a 9-year-old kid who is now the grown adult author of that book. So he said, Mom, you should read it. So I did. For my summer reading, I read the book, All Boys Aren't Blue. And he was right. So the couple sentences that were read at the Board of Candidates meeting were about a child who was 9 years old who was sexually abused by a family member. And the point of this book that George Johnson wrote was to describe what it was like to have non-consensual sex with an adult. And his point was to show children what that was like. He mentions that one of the most harrowing things about his experience was he was shamed by it, because he knew as a kid that was something wrong, but he was conflicted because this was his family member. So I looked into statistics that are published by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, which is funded by the Department of Defense of the United States. And some of the statistics they have on the United States are about 34% of victims of sexual abuse are under the age of 12. About 66% are between the ages of 12 and 17. The perpetrators of the sexual abuse, about 59% are acquaintances, community members, and 34% are family. So 93% of sexual abuse for children is perpetrated by adults who they know. And that, again, was the purpose of this book, was to give children an example of what it looks like. It was not pornography. Pornography is meant to titillate and excite, and that is not what is said here. And the author explains that very clearly. So, you know, I can think of no greater example of how parental guidance can be misled than what happened over the past 2 decades with the incidents of sexual abuse of children in the Catholic Church. This was something where parents gave their kids to a set of adults innocently, but they were misguided. And it shows that not every judgment that a parent makes is a good one. So we have to now, and this board as public, as representing the public, has to do the best for every children. has to take into account what's best for every children, the materials they need to inform themselves about the world they're about to go in, similar to how you've looked at this with school shooting.
All right,
So I
thank you.
hope that you will, I'm going to leave this book for the board in the hopes that you will actually read it. And in the hopes that you will inform yourselves and represent all the children here and not one parent's view or the other, but do what's best for all children. Thank you very much.
I just want to comment on that. It wasn't an issue of the book itself. It was the issue that middle school, high school share a library. So there needs to be, something that we've been discussing, is there needs to be separate sections of the library so that a book like that would be for high school students and not for middle school students, not for 11-year-olds.
I don't think that was it, but we could, if you publish the video, we could watch it again. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Bruzaglia. I'm a resident of 115 Park Avenue. I have an incoming 7th grader and junior, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of PTA Council Exec Board. Dr. Valente and I actually have a personal relationship. I do know him from other districts, so welcome. And I think very highly of you, Dr. Valente. You're exceptionally qualified, you're inspirational. What I come with tonight is a process question, and I think before you hear Dr. Valente, you may not know that our Board of Education said that when we hired a permanent superintendent, we would hire a company, there would be surveys sent out to families, there would be interview committees for the candidates, there would be a year-long, as you're aware, from hiring superintendents. So as a PTA Council Exec Board, we would just like to ensure that when long-term decisions are made for our district, that we have more parental input, that we have more community input. We probably would have picked you as our candidate, but we didn't really get the chance to do that. So of course I understand everyone being so inspired by you and really grateful for you to be here. I just want to remind you that we need to follow the process and that parents and community members would also like to have a voice and a say in things when long-term decisions are made. So thank you for your time.
Motion to adjourn? All right, first, do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.